Hi, I'm the Paranoid Survivor, and it's the end of the world as we know it.
Why does the sun go on shining? Why does the sea rush to shore? Don't they know it's the end of the world? 'Cause you don't love me anymore.
Life has many mysteries. How did life start? What's dark matter? Why are we here? What exactly is the meaning of life? It's so full of wondrous questions and possibilities just waiting to be answered. Yet for some reason, the question that always seems to stand out is the one of impending doom and horror. When will the world end? When will civilization as we know it cease to exist? When will we get that bridge to the post-apocalypse named the Apocalypse? While this event may never happen, at any sign of a worldwide destruction, every major news station and conman in the world profits big time. Now this tells us two things. A, people are gullible, and B, it's certainly worrisome to think about the future. Well, worry no more, because through my extensive research, I will attempt to solve this mind-bending question. When, exactly, could the world end? Firstly, let's look at what could cause an apocalypse, because there's no use going into this without knowing what exactly could kill us all. Scenario number 1, a worldwide pandemic. As is the case with the current Ebola outbreak, a worldwide pandemic could prove quite tricky with a high enough mortality rate. Since you can't actually attack a pathogen without carefully examining the creation of a vaccine, believe me, I've tried, these microscopic fuckers can easily wipe out an entire population. Especially because of how interconnected our world is. A single airplane trip with a disease that spreads fast enough could destroy the entire world. Now how cool is that? Of course, the disease would have to have a pretty lengthy incubation period without showing any symptoms so the victim could spread it around quickly enough, and obviously it would have to be pretty deadly. But if history taught us anything, it's that this sort of thing can happen. Specifically the 1918 influenza outbreak that infected 500 million people after World War I. It killed 100 million, which is as high as 3 to 5% of the world's population back then. And this was just the flu, not some insane-ass military weapon. It only had a mortality rate of 10 to 20%, which is nothing compared to diseases such as smallpox or anthrax, with a 93% ratio. And trust me when I tell you that this gas mask ain't gonna do shit then. Scenario number 2, World War III. The other most commonly debated scenario would be World War III, an all-out nuclear strike, a way to end with a bang. What a trilogy that would be. While a lot of defense mechanisms were sorted out all over the world to prevent this sort of thing from happening during and after the Cold War, as soon as America launched those nukes at Japan, the clock has been ticking. How long until whatever war is going on while you're watching this video escalates into a global conflict? How long until North Korea manages to create a rocket that doesn't require a child and 3 hamsters to be launched? Sooner or later, this could happen, and guess who'd get the last laugh then, bitches? Scenario number 3, natural causes. Probably the least tinfoil hat and most realistic way things could go down are natural causes, because let's face it, no one gives a shit anymore. Global warming's still a thing, overpopulation's still a thing, bees dying is still a thing. We've caused a lot of shit in the short 10,000 years of civilization we've had, and we aren't exactly making this our priority. On top of that, you have meteors, supervolcanoes, and whatever else could kill us. Damn, nature, you scary! Scenario number 5, all the other stupid shit. I made a video on whether or not zombies could happen, but there are also ideas on computers turning against us, aliens attacking, social collapse, and the Bible's rapture. No! But if you do want to believe in this sort of shit, go for it. I'll send you a good old tinfoil hat for support. So now that we got that out of the way, what's the best educated guess for when the world will end? I mean, all of the predictions are surely true. Well, not exactly. In fact, any and all predictions you see hyped up on the TV/internet should be laughed at and shunned. If you fell for it, don't feel bad. People have been falling for this sort of shit for thousands of years. In fact, the earliest predictions of the apocalypse were in 634 BC, back in the Roman times, where many people believed that the world would end due to some shite prophecy. Over the course of the years, these became more and more common, with over 80 predictions just until the 20th century, and even more than that in the 20th and 21st. But through the years, the only common thing we saw was that they were all wrong. Rasputin, the Aztecs, Newton, Nostradamus, each one was wrong and ultimately nothing but a sham. But if we are going to talk about future predictions just for the lulz, here goes. The second coming of Jesus Christ should happen in March 2015. Jesus will also come in 2020, starting the end. And also in 2021. And a comet will destroy us in 2026. Then we have 2120, 2129, 2239, yada yada yada. Jesus, I think I lost a few brain cells there. Alright, how about we finally move on to educated guesses? First of all, overpopulation. The problem of us breeding like rabbits to the point where there aren't enough resources nor is there enough space to sustain us all is still present. In the past 50 years, this has especially become apparent because not enough babies are dying. What? What the fuck? It's true! It's true! In the past, not a lot of births saw adulthood. Nowadays, most people do, which leaves quite a crowd. The world as it is could only sustain around 16 billion people. I mean, we're already having trouble with 7, and as it is, we might have about 10 billion by 2065. If we do overpopulate our planet, some consequences may include resource wars, famine, a severe lack of energy, and general anarchy, and serious environmental issues. Speaking of, how much fossil fuel do we have left? I mean, they are accounted for 82% of the world's energy, so we're screwed if we run out. Well, surprisingly enough, we still have over 50% left. Take that, Al Gore! But most of it's being burned at a rate too fast, or we just can't get to it. Never mind. In other words, at the time of making this video, there are an estimated 14,351 days until we run out of oil, about 59,777 days till we run out of gas, and 150,946 days till we run out of coal. But we're pretty much fucked without oil, so yeah. But we're still using it, which in turn causes global warming. How long until we're all flooded by the melted polar caps as the climate gets more unstable than my sleep schedule? Now, I'm not gonna pretend to understand the actual concepts, but essentially, too much CO2 equals we're fucked, whether it be cooling or warming, and we're only a few generations away from this. Let's shift the theme from less Captain Planet to more a badass rage theme. Meteors. I mean, we're technically in constant danger of these fuckers, and while small celestial objects hit us daily, a single large one could get us blown the fuck out. The Chelyabinsk meteor from 2013 was only 20 meter diameter, and it caused over 1,400 people to seek medical attention, with over 100 people hospitalized. It was 30 times brighter than the sun, and 20 people reported ultraviolet burns because of it. This was a 20 meter meteor. Now imagine what that one meteor from Armageddon could do if Bruce Willis wasn't there. But what are the odds? We're just a small speck in the universe. Well, apparently the odds are actually pretty high, as a 30 meter meteor should appear every 185 years on average, and should have the energy of a 1.3 megaton atomic bomb. Pretty fucking scary, ain't it? However, there are also supervolcanoes, and scientists are sure one's bound to happen sooner or later. Then, what about the Fermi paradox? Asking the question, how haven't we met any extraterrestrial civilizations? Leading us to the conclusion that they most likely died off before inventing space travel. All of them. And then what about the cosmic threats? Global warming, super tsunamis, biotechnology, ecological terrorists. Where was I? Oh yeah. So, now that we went over everything, when will the world end? Well, from all the predictions, statistics, and numbers, we can only find out that there are way too many factors to count in. I mean, we could run out of fuel in 40 years, but we have been focusing more on renewable resources. We could get overpopulated, but more and more governments taking part in helping to stop this. Free condoms would be nice. I mean, shit, the doomsday clock, an estimate of how long until World War III, is about as high as it was in the 80s with the Cold War. But it's been like this since 2007, so I wouldn't worry. And the probability of human extinction before 2100 is only at around 5%, and that's for the super intelligent AI and molecular nanotechnology. Sure, whether you like it or not, us humans are pretty resilient. But if you really want a personal guess, here, 72 years. Now, until then, how about you stop giving a fuck about every single news story telling you we're getting fucked and live your life to the fullest without worrying about the future. Go outside, ask that girl/guy out for a date, do something else other than googling when the world will end. Because remember, it's not about how long you live your life, it's about how well you spend it. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like it, comment, and favorite. Some may have noticed that I changed my name, but don't worry, this is only so I could talk about a wider range of subjects that still mostly include games, movies, and other useless shit. So if you like the apocalypse, science, or if you're mentally ill, me, subscribe. I also stream here and there, so you can check that out down below. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, like me on Facebook, all that good shit. I love you guys, and thanks for watching. Survivors, salute.